From Forex Traders Daily, this is your daily analysis with Ross Mullins, live from Richmond, Virginia.
Hello everyone, this is today's video analysis for March 27th, 2017. I hope you had a great weekend and are ready to get started trading this week. In today's video, I'm going to do a general overview of each U.S. currency pair in anticipation of this week's trading, and I'm going to highlight some of the key levels that we will be looking for entry and exit opportunities. Now, this week's news calendar looks relatively light, so be sure to check when the events happen in your local time, and as always, be sure to use appropriate risk strategies in all trade setups. Let's go ahead and get started here on the USDCHF, the US dollar versus the Swiss franc. We have been in a downtrend over the past couple of weeks. You can see that along the blue trend line on the right-hand side of the chart. Not too hard to see. A little bit of a falling pressure for this currency pair. US dollar has been selling off against the Swiss franc, and we can see challenging a low that we haven't seen in quite a few months. You go all the way back here to the left-hand side of the chart. We're back into November of last year, so we're almost about 4 or 5 months now where we haven't seen the market push into these lows, into the 9800s. Challenging the purple zone means that we're challenging a breakout underneath the last support just at the bottom of the red trend line. And if it breaks this support, 98.35, 98.55, then we could be looking for to go lower into 9800, even into the upper 9700s. Now, if the past couple of weeks are any clue, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom it in a little bit here, if there's any clue that we can take from the past couple of weeks, we could go into a little bit of a bounce today. And what I mean by that is what we've seen here, and let me change this to a little black box so you can see exactly what I'm looking at here on the chart. And I'm going to change it into a box. So there you go. That little black box there shows there was a few days it came down into the blue zone, 1, 2, 3 days, and then finally broke underneath it. Well, that's not too different than what happened just after that. We see the market go into a little period of congestion between the orange and the blue shaded area. So if the market repeats this pattern again, we may be looking for something similar to happen between the orange and the purple zone. As I mentioned a minute ago, we don't have a lot of news on the calendar for this week, so we may see a little bit of a bounce back and a similar setup and similar pattern for the trend. Of course, we want to watch for one of two things here at the purple shaded area at the bottom of the chart. Either it's going to bounce off of it and do that reversal like what we saw over here the past couple of weeks, or it's going to break through it and continue. So if we're going to sell the trend, sell the downtrend, we either want to wait for it to break the purple zone, like it did here, the blue and the pink zone, to go lower, or it needs to come back up to the orange shaded area before we look for an opportunity to go short. Take it down to the 4-hour time frame. It's not going to change any of that analysis. I think all that's the same. So if we're going to go short, it needs to come back up. We need to watch for clues to support and reversal from the purple zone, go back to the orange zone. Very similar to what it did here and here on top of the blue zone. It goes back up a little ways, gives us a lower risk, higher opportunity to sell it. Or the next thing we're looking for is a break under the purple zone for a continuation of the downtrend for the dollar franc. Moving over to the euro dollar, just the opposite. It's a similar scenario, just the opposite here. We see the rising blue trend line on the right-hand side of the chart. It's attempting to break out above the 1.0865 level, the orange shaded area here. If you go back to the left, and I'm actually going to take this black circle and bring it up just a little bit, right there where the black circle is on the left, we could see that was a spike resistance there. And I'm actually going to take the blue circle and put it along that same orange zone. So the blue circle shows us where support was. So support here at the blue circle, resistance here at the black circle. So what we're looking for here is one of two things to happen at this orange shaded area. It either breaks above it and stays above it and goes to the next level of resistance, which is the blue shaded area, or we see reversal and it turns back lower again and at least challenges back down to the pink zone into the 1.0790 level. So this is what we want to watch for here into the orange shaded area today. Take it down to the 4-hour time frame. We can see the market attempting to get above it. We did get a little bit of a gapping from the weekend, so we need to watch and pay attention for reversal and the filling of that gap. That would be a push back underneath the orange shaded area. So we need to watch for that, resistance and reversal indicators, which we don't have that. Or again, the breakout scenario above 0.865, we look for the continuation higher for the euro dollar today. Moving over to the GBPUSD, here's something interesting that we started studying last week in the live trade room, is this black trend line that comes along the top of our resistance highs. One resistance high here, one resistance high here, top of the green trend line, and here we are again into that same black trend line. So isn't that interesting? Top of a consolidating range, if you will, lower highs, higher lows, maybe a long-term triangle pattern here. So interesting here is where the market is setting up into resistance here for the GBPUSD right around the 1.2600 level, which is the top or close to the top of our pink shaded area here. Zooming in one more time, you can see Fibonacci from the high to low of the green trend line also puts the 786 Fibonacci retracement level at 1.2578, which is right inside our pink zone. So one of two things is going to happen. We either look for the breakout above the pink zone and the challenge to the blue zone, which is our very close to our last resistance high over here on the left top of the green trend line, or we start to see some reversal from the top of this triangle consolidation pattern, and we start to look for it to go back down all the way into the 122s, all the way at the bottom of that black trend line at the bottom. So some interesting setup here. You know, it'd be interesting to watch for clues to reversal and the possibility of it heading back down to the bottom of that long black triangle that we just looked at. Watching for evidence of reversal will be the key point to that. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. We see no evidence of reversal. In fact, the buyers are still clearly in control. No evidence that they're even taking any intraday control of this currency pair yet. So no reason to go short. Just something to watch for over the next couple of days is that resistance highs that we are challenging right now. Difficult place to go long, truthfully, because we're right into those resistance levels. So kind of a difficult place to go long. Not really ready to go short yet, so at least at this point we're waiting for a new setup on the GBPUSD. USDCAD, look at the congestion we've had inside this purple shaded area right around 133.35, 133.55. Look at that purple zone right there. We have seen quite a bit of congestion. In fact, let me just bring this over here like this so you can know exactly where I'm looking. Right there where the blue circle is on the right hand side. Look at that, how it's been bouncing around. Blue zone, yellow zone, and purple zone, kind of that median area right in the middle of that. Zoom it in on that blue circle, and again, there's really one of two things that we have to watch for here. And if you just take a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days maybe, just waffling around here. We need a breakout either below it or a breakout above it, I think, here on the daily time frame, because if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, we've seen it above and below multiple times, and it's been false breakouts each time. So be very cautious about 4-hour breakouts. I think we need a daily breakout to give us confidence, but it's just been waffling around, consolidating around this purple zone into the mid to low 1.33s. So keep an eye on that daily. We need some news or something to break it out of this little period of congestion here on the dollar CAD. Moving over to the US yen, it's just been a straight free fall for this currency pair, and it's very similar to what we spoke about on the dollar franc at the very beginning, is that we want to see one of two things. We either need to see, and we're at the very bottom of the trend, by the way, so we either need to see for a short opportunity, it goes back up to the blue zone, resistance, or breaks through the yellow zone support. Right now it's at support, sitting on top of that yellow shaded area. So it's a difficult place in any situation to go short at the very bottom of the trend. Remember, buy low, sell high. We're at the lowest low. We're at the lowest low that we've seen for multiple months. So it's a difficult place to go short. Doesn't mean it can't go lower. It's just a difficult place to sell because your risk is higher. Your potential profit right now is being capped at 110. So it's a difficult place to go short. It either needs to break the yellow zone or rally back to the blue zone before it becomes an opportunity with low risk, high reward to go short. Now, it's the direction, that's for sure. We just need the right opportunity to do that. No reason to buy it. There's no indications of resistance or reverse or support and reversal yet to go back up. Zoom it back down here to the 4-hour time frame, and there it is again, just challenging that yellow zone. It's been testing it for the past several hours since market open, and it really hasn't broken underneath it yet. So just be cautious about going short until we either break the yellow zone to go lower, 110 really, to go lower, or watch for evidence of reversal over the next several days for the US yen. Moving on over to the AUDUSD. Last week we had a phenomenal trade on the AUDUSD. We had a phenomenal sell from the green shaded area at the top of the chart. Probably the trade of the week last week. I'm out of those trades right now, waiting for the next opportunity, and I think right now we're into a potential opportunity. If you look here on the daily time frame, we pushed underneath the orange zone and now sitting underneath it as resistance. So for the time being, this orange zone is your resistance level, 76.40, 76.55. As long as it stays underneath there, the possibility of heading down or back down towards the purple zone exists. And the risk in that scenario, let's see, can I zoom in one more time? The risk in that scenario, of course, is that it gets back above the orange zone. So for the day, I would say as long as it's underneath that orange zone, there's still an opportunity to go short. Your stop loss, and let's see, I can grab this little red line that's up here at the top of the chart. Your stop loss now is above the orange zone. You just don't want it to get back above there. So if you decide to take a short here into the orange zone, 76.40, 76.55 on the Australian dollar, target the purple zone for sure, but the risk in this scenario is that it breaks back above the orange zone. Don't have your stop loss too much higher above that orange zone 76.55 because that if it gets back above there, we're likely looking for the turn back higher again. So definitely watching this orange zone. 4-hour time frame doesn't really change it. Take a look. We've challenged back into it just like it did here at the blue zone. Hit the blue zone and bounced off it. Now we're into the orange zone. If it bounces off of it, we're right back down to the purple shaded area or lower for the Australian dollar today. Take it over to New Zealand dollar, and a very similar situation. We're into resistance. Here on the New Zealand dollar, we have the blue trend line, a down trend line. By the way, it connects right here to the highest high and right here at the high where this green shaded area is, and you can see we're right there again. Let's take a couple of looks at some other indicators. Fibonacci, highest high of the blue trend line down to the low here into the green zone. Fibonacci of that range puts the 382 right at the blue zone. We have the blue trend line, we have the blue zone with the 382 Fibonacci retracement level, and right above it is the 100 period moving average. So right now, I would say we're more likely watching for an opportunity for resistance underneath the moving average, underneath the 382, underneath the blue trend line, and looking for the reversal back down towards the orange zone, and under the orange zone, we look for it to go lower. Last week we looked at this black box. We were looking for a breakout, especially on the daily, will give us a higher confidence, but we need a breakout of this black box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days have been settled down into that black box. Above it would indicate reversal to go higher. And of course below it, as we've already indicated, would look for it to go lower for the New Zealand dollar. And staying above the orange zone is what we're seeing right now. So right now we're in some congestion in between the blue and the orange shade area. We need a breakout there. 4-hour time frame, again, we could see a false breakout on Friday or last week. We see that false breakout there. It was a very short-lived push underneath, and now we're back into the blue shaded area as resistance. Zoom it out one time. So again, doesn't change it. We need a breakout either above the blue zone for upside or under the orange zone, preferably now on the daily time frame, to go lower for the New Zealand dollar this week.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.